Yoveliym, Jubilees, chapter 23. And he placed 2 fingers of Yaakov on his eyes, and he blessed the Elohim of Elohim, and he covered his face, and stretched out his feet, and slept the sleep of eternity, and was gathered to his fathers. And notwithstanding all this, Yaakov was lying in his bosom, and knew not that Abraham his father's father was dead, and Yaakov was cold as ice. And he said, Father, Father, but there was none that spoke. And he knew that he was dead. And he arose from his bosom, and ran and told Rivkah his mother. And Rivkah went to Yitzchak in the night, and told him. And they went together, and Yaakov with them, and a lamp was in his hand. And when they had gone in, they found Abraham lying dead. And Yitzchak fell on the face of his father, and wept and kissed him. And the voices were heard in the house of Abraham. And Ishmael, his son, arose, and went to Abraham his father, and wept over Abraham his father, he and all the house of Abraham. And they wept with a great weeping. And his sons Yitzchak and Ishmael buried him in the double cave near Sarah his woman, and they wept for him 40 days, all the men of his house, and Yitzchak and Ishmael, and all their sons, and all the sons of Keturah in their places. And the days of weeping for Abraham were ended. And he lived 3 jubilees and 4 weeks of years, 175 years, and completed the days of his life, being old and full of days. For the days of the forefathers of their life were 19 jubilees, and after the flood they began to grow less than 19 jubilees, and to decrease in jubilees, and to grow old quickly, and to be full of their days by reason of manifold tribulation and the wickedness of their ways, with the exception of Abraham. For Abraham was perfect in all his deeds with Yahweh, and well-pleasing in righteousness all the days of his life. And behold, he did not complete 4 jubilees in his life, when he had grown old by reason of the wickedness, and was full of his days. And all the generations which shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment shall grow old quickly before they complete 2 jubilees, and their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age, and all their knowledge shall vanish away. And in those days, if a man live a jubilee and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity follows on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil report on evil report, and illness on illness, and all evil judgments, such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice, and fever and chills, and torpor, lethargy, and famine, and death, and sword, and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these shall come on an evil generation, which transgresses on the earth. Their works are uncleanness, and fornication, and pollution, and abominations. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 60 years and 10, and if he is strong, 80 years, and those evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation. And in that generation the sons shall convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahweh made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commandments and his ordinances and all his Torah, without departing either to the right hand or the left. For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination, and all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. Behold, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless, and they shall all perish together, beasts and cattle and birds and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the Torah and the covenant. For they have forgotten commandment and covenant and feasts and months and Shabbats and Jubilees and all judgments. And they shall stand swords and war to turn back into the ways, to turn them back into the way. But they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another. And those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's. And they shall name the great name, but not in truth and not in righteousness. And they shall defile the Kodesh, holy of holies, with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment shall befall the deeds of this generation from Yahweh, and he will give them over to the sword and to judgment and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the other nations, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor anyone, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Yasharal, and transgression against Yaakov, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud and call and pray that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the other nations, but none shall be saved. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear old like a man of 100 years, and their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the Torah, and to seek the commandments, and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days shall begin to grow many and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a great number of years than before was the number of the days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is satisfied with his days, for all shall be as children and youths, and all their days they shall complete and live in peace and in joy. And there shall be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of blessing and healing. And at that time Yahweh will heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones shall rest in the earth, and their Ruach oath spirits shall have much joy. And they shall know that it is Yahweh who executes judgment and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do you, Moshe, Write down these words, for thus they are written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets for a testimony for the generations forever. Chapter 24. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that Yahweh blessed Yitzchak his son, and he arose from Chevron and went and dwelt at the well of the vision in the first year of the 3rd week of this Jubilee, 7 years. And in the first year of the 4th week, a famine began in the land, beside the first famine, which had been in the days of Abraham. And Yaakov sowed lentil pottage, and Esau came from the field hungry. And he said to Yaakov his brother, Give me of this red pottage. And Yaakov said to him, Sell to me your primogeniture, this birthright, and I will give you bread, and also some of this lentil pottage. And Esau said in his heart, I shall die. Of what profit to me is this birthright? And he said to Yaakov, I give it to you. And Yaakov said, Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And Yaakov gave his brother Esau bread and pottage, and he ate till he was satisfied. And Esau despised his birthright. For this reason was Esau's name called Edom, on account of the red pottage which Yaakov gave him for his birthright. And Yaakov became the elder, and Esau was brought down from his dignity. And the famine was over the land. And Yitzchak departed to go down into Mitzrayim in the 2nd year of this week, and went to the king of the Pelishtim, to Gerar, unto Yoveliym. And Yahweh appeared unto him, and said unto him, Go not down into Mitzrayim, dwell in the land that I shall tell you of, and sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and bless you. For to you and to your seed will I give all this land, and I will establish my oath, which I swore unto Abraham your father, and I will multiply your seed as the stars of Shamayim, heaven, and will give unto your seed all this land. And in your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because your father obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, and my commandments, and my Torah, and my ordinances, and my covenant. And now obey my voice, and dwell in this land. And he dwelt in Gerar 3 weeks of years. And Yoveliym charged concerning him, and concerning all that was his, saying, Any man that shall touch him, or anything that is his, shall surely die. And Yitzchak waxed strong among the Pelishtim, and he got many possessions, oxen and sheep and camels and asses, and a great household. And he sowed in the land of the Pelishtim, and brought in 100-fold. And Yitzchak became exceedingly great, and the Pelishtim envied him. Now all the wells which the servants of Abraham had dug during the life of Abraham, the Pelishtim had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and filled them with earth. And Yoveliym said unto Yitzchak, Go from us, for you are much mightier than we. And Yitzchak departed thence in the 1st year of the 7th week, and sojourned in the valley of Gerar. And they dug again the wells of water, which the servants of Abraham his father had dug, and which the Pelishtim had closed after the death of Abraham his father. And he called their names as Abraham his father had named them. And the servants of Yitzchak dug a well in the valley, and found living water. And the shepherds of Gerar strove with the shepherds of Yitzchak, saying, The water is ours. And Yitzchak called the name of the well Perversity, because they had been perverse with us. And they dug a 2nd well, and they strove for that also. And he called its name Enmity. And he rose from thence, and dug another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Room. And Yitzchak said, Now Yahweh has made room for us, and we have increased in the land. And he went up from thence to the well of the oath in the first year of the first week, in the 44th Jubilee. And Yahweh appeared to him that night on the new moon of the first month, and said unto him, I am the Elohim of Abraham your father. Fear not, for I am with you, and shall bless you, and shall surely multiply your seed as the sand of the earth, for the sake of Abraham, my servant. And he built an altar there, which Abraham his father had first built. And he called upon the name of Yahweh, and he offered sacrifice to the Elohim of Abraham his father. And they dug a well, and they found living water. And the servants of Yitzchak dug another well, and did not find water. And they went and told Yitzchak that they had not found water. And Yitzchak said, I have sworn this day to the Pelishtim, and this thing has been announced to us. And he called the name of that place the well of the oath, for there he had sworn to Yoveliym and Acusheth, his friend, Pichol the perfect, and Or his host. And Yitzchak knew that day that under constraint he had sworn to them to make peace with them. And Yitzchak on that day cursed the Pelishtim, and said, Cursed be the Pelishtim unto the day of wrath and indignation from the midst of all nations. May Elohim make them a derision and a curse and an object of wrath and indignation in the hands of the sinners, the other nations, and in the hands of the Kittim. And whosoever escapes the sword of the enemy and the Kittim, may the righteous nation root out in judgment from under Shamayim. For they shall be the enemies and foes of my children throughout their generations upon the earth, and no remnant shall be left to them, nor one that shall be saved on the day of the wrath of judgment. For destruction and rooting out and expulsion from the earth is the whole seed of the Pelishtim reserved. And there shall no longer be left for these Captorim a name or a seed on the earth. For though he ascends unto Shamayim, thence shall he be brought down. And though he makes himself strong on the earth, thence shall he be dragged forth. And though he hides himself amongst the nations, even from thence shall he be rooted out. And though he descends into Sheol, there also shall his condemnation be great. And there also he shall have no peace. And if he goes into captivity by the hands of those that seek his life, shall they slay him on the way, and neither name nor seed shall be left to him on all the earth, for into eternal malediction shall he depart. And thus it is written and engraved concerning him on the heavenly tablets, to do unto him on the day of judgment, so that he may be rooted out of the earth. Chapter 25. In the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, Rivkah called Yaakov her son, and spoke unto him, saying, My son, do not take you a woman of the daughters of Canaan, as Esau your brother, who took him 2 women of the daughters of Canaan. And they have embittered my soul with all their unclean deeds, for all their deeds are fornication and lust, and there is no righteousness with them, for their deeds are evil. And I, my son, love you exceedingly, and my heart and my affection bless you every hour of the day and watch of the night. And now, my son, hearken to my voice, and do the will of your mother, and do not take you a woman of the daughters of this land, but only of the house of my father. and of my father's kindred. You shall take you a woman of the house of my father, and Elohim will bless you, and your children shall be a righteous generation, and a Kodesh seed. And then spoke Yaakov to Rivkah his mother, and said unto her, Behold, mother, I am 9 weeks of years old, and I neither know nor have I touched any woman, nor have I betrothed myself to any, nor even think of taking me a woman of the daughters of Canaan. For I remember, mother, the words of Abraham our father, for he commanded me not to take a woman of the daughters of Canaan, but to take me a woman from the seed of my father's house and from my kindred. I have heard before that daughters have been born to Laban, your brother, and I have set my heart on them to take a woman from amongst them. And for this reason I have guarded myself in my ruach, against sinning or being corrupted in all my ways throughout all the days of my life. For with regard to lust and fornication, Abraham my father gave me many commands, and despite all that he has commanded me, these 22 years my brother has striven with me and spoken frequently to me, and said, My brother, take to be your woman a sister of my 2 women, but I refuse to do so, as he has done. I swear before you, mother, that all the days of my life I will not take me a woman from the daughters of the seed of Canaan, and I will not act wickedly as my brother has done. Fear not, mother. Be assured that I shall do your will, and walk in uprightness, and not corrupt my ways forever. And thereupon she lifted up her face unto Shammai, and extended the fingers of her hands, and opened her mouth, and blessed Elohim, who has created the Shammai oath, and the earth. And she gave him thanks and praise. And she said, Blessed be Yahweh Elohim, and may his Kodesh name be blessed forever and ever, who has given me Yaakov as a pure son, and a Kodesh seed, for he is yours, and yours shall his seed be continually, and throughout all the generations forevermore. Bless him, O Yahweh, and place in my mouth the blessing of righteousness, that I may bless him. And at that hour, when the Ruach Testikah, spirit of righteousness, descended into her mouth, she placed both her hands on the head of Yaakov and said, Blessed are you, Yahweh of righteousness, and Elohim of the ages, and may he bless you beyond all the generations of men. May he give you, my son, the paths of righteousness, and reveal righteousness to your seed. And may he make your sons many during your life, and may they arise according to the number of the months of the year. And may their sons become many, and great beyond the stars of Shamayim, and their numbers be more than the sand of the sea. And may he give them this goodly land, as he said he would give it to Abraham, and to his seed after him always. And may they hold it as a possession forever. And may I see born unto you, my son, blessed children during my life, and a blessed and Kodesh seed may all your seed be. And as you have refreshed your mother's Ruach during her life, the womb of her that bore you blesses you thus. My affection and my breast bless you, and my mouth and my tongue praise you greatly. Increase and spread over the earth, and may your seed be perfect in the joy of Shamayim and earth forever. And may your seed rejoice, and on the great day of peace may it have peace, and may your name and your seed endure to all the ages, and may Elohim be their Elohim, and may the Elohim of righteousness tabernacle with them, and by them may his sanctuary be built unto all the ages. Blessed be he that blesses you, and all flesh that curses you falsely, may it be cursed. And she kissed him and said to him, May Yahweh of the world love you as the heart of your mother, and her affection rejoice in you, and blessed you. And she ceased from blessing.